Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back to D's World. I can tell I'm in like a slightly different position today. It's all good. We moving around some stuff in the creation station, so this is where I'm at right now. And it's really like 2 feet to the left. But regardless, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I wanted to come in here. This is gonna be a spoiler review. I feel like if you haven't seen it by now, you ain't going to see it, or you just wasting time. So let's start off with the big stuff, man. Angela Bassett dies in this movie. All right, she dies in this movie, following up on the Chadwick Boseman death, which is already like the precursor to everything that goes on in this movie. I didn't like that decision. Shuri did an alright job for what she was given. I felt she was more or less likable. You know what I'm saying? There were some dialogue choices I didn't agree with. Like, it kind of made Shuri seem soulless. And if you've seen the movie, I can't remember line for line, but as I was watching, like, there's this dialogue going on between her and Angela, post Chadwick Boseman's death, or what they're referring to in the movie Black Panther's death. And there's some dialogue choice I don't know, it just made these people seem soulless, and I didn't agree with that because just all this cast being brothers, man. Brothers is so spiritual, man, and so to take that away from them and trying to put them on a broad surface like that, to where it's just the flesh and that's it, I didn't agree with that. You had my dude M'Baku. He showed up, gave you some good comedic relief, and I felt like for what he was given, he couldn't have did a better job. This movie centers around your boy Namor right here on the bottom half of this poster. And I felt Namor, though, with the race change or the race swap, whatever you want to call it, I felt like it fit. Like, he didn't really look like Namor, but as far as attitude and everything he was trying to get across, like the was it not really lust for power, but he's really all about respect, right? But he's a king, so he's got an agenda. You know what I'm saying? And I felt for that role, this guy coming in as Namor, I didn't have a problem with him. By the end of the movie, you can speculate and critique all you want to, but until you see the movie, like, a good actor can really take you out of what the character might have formerly been portrayed as. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can get you lost in the role. And I feel like this guy maybe not did the best job, but he did enough for me to where I could believe he was Namor. And he had a good attitude about it. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to give Namor just a rating by himself, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, this guy did a great 8 performance. Like, I would give him that. You had the wife showing up in this movie. There were some things with this whole plot that what do I want to say here? How this all went down, right? There was the funeral. Then you had the struggle, more or less, with the whole Namor thing, because Namor comes out of nowhere, like on an island, and catches Angela and Shuri, right? And he's like, man, basically I'm about to take over everything. And they're like, nah, you can't do that. We gonna backlash at you, whatever. Next thing you know, there's an attack. That's where dun 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 takes place. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of crazy because she's saving, I want to say, is it Riri? She's saving somebody. And I'm going to get to Riri in a minute. But she's saving somebody, like, using everything. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't make sense to me that she would be the one to die in that situation. But I digress. To Riri. Riri Williams was a waste in this movie. She's a genius, right? But every time they're caught or something's going down, like, yeah, she has the equipment to get to, but the dialogue within all these scenarios, like, if you're a genius, to me, like, you be thinking, you know what I'm saying? So if you're caught or something, like, she should be analyzing stuff and figuring out ways to, you know what I'm saying, to make their situations better. My opinion. I felt Riri was kind of like they were trying to use her as comedic relief, but to me it's like you got this woman trying to be the next Tony Stark and she ain't used her intellect yet, really. Like, she was helping some people on campus or whatever, but I'm not even behind the whole Ironheart thing. Like, I'm probably not going to watch that series. But it's not even the swapping and all that. It is, but it's really not, because there's no development. You know what I'm saying? We're just supposed to buy in. And Riri, she really didn't do it. Granted, when she said some things, I chuckled, but as a character, I couldn't buy into Riri, man. And it's like when the action scenes were going on, she would be gone. Like, you know how like when the Avengers do an action scene, they all kind of got their own individual stories going on. Like, you can follow who they got beef with. Like with Riri in this movie, like you would see the Wakandans fighting. They was all fighting going in, right? Like, and you like, let's take Warrior Chick for example. She gets that new suit or whatever, but you kind of see the build up to that, you know what I'm saying, through her whole storyline of the movie. It could have been executed probably a little bit better, but I got it, right? Riri, it's like they got her suit, and then when the battle comes on, they just flash over real quick and show you fighting some random, like somebody that holds no weight on anything, right? And she's just over here struggling, more or less, or getting the win. It's just easy victories, man. I don't buy into that. Like, there was nothing for me to buy into with Riri. They kind of like tried to bring the sentimental thing with her pops. Like, she got what she got from her pops, which is true to the comics, I believe. But even in the comics, it's like, that's not even like what drives Riri. You know what I'm saying? I digress. Wakanda Forever on the closeout. Now this is, I know I'm skipping to the closeout. This is a 2 hour and 40-minute movie, y'all. There's a lot to, and I saw it like a week ago, so you know I'm kind of like here and there. You know, I'm gonna be bouncing around, but I feel like there's something I really need to touch on. There's some more shit I really need to touch on. The Midnight Angel thing, yeah, we kind of talked about the Warrior. The Midnight Angel thing, I mean, the suits was kind of corny, and again, you got Wakanda being led by a whole bunch of. You got Wakanda being led by not the most masculine people, right? Which I don't necessarily agree with that. Especially since the Black Panther is like, he's the leader, man. He's the leader. You had Michael B. Jordan appear in this film. That's kind of when Shuri recreates the plant, right? To go into the realm where the Black Panthers go, the ancestral realm. And she creates that plant, and so when she drinks the juice created from the plant, she goes and she's expecting to see Chadwick, right? Obviously that can't happen because he's dead, right? And Michael B. Jordan is there, so that sends her on like this dark tirade. Like, she's upset she can't see Chadwick, didn't even see her mom because her mom just died, right? And she's on her high horse, really, like, man, F the world, like, I can't even see my brother when I create, you know what I mean, the genetics to really go and be a Black Panther. Like, when I go to that realm, I can't even see him there. So she's kind of got this spiteful nature towards, it's kind of towards the Black Panther. I don't think she sees it that way. I think she kind of puts it outwards towards the world, because she gets on this vengeance track, right? She kind of starts aligning with how Namor starts thinking, right? So by the end of the movie, post Namor kidnapping Shuri and Riri, by the end of the movie, you see these guys dueling it out, right? And during the duel, there's a moral message, I guess. Like, they're both more or less about to die, right? And the warriors are left on a boat fighting the sea people. And it's looking bad for Wakanda, right? So that's kind of the message it's trying to portray. Like, should Shuri leave everything as far as morally to defeat the initial evil in Namor? Well, if she does that, kind of what the movie portrays to, like, if she does that or speaks to, Wakanda's gonna fall. So if she falls into vengeance, Wakanda will no longer be, right? And Namor has a change of heart because he is shown mercy in a situation where he really had no reason walking away from, right? And that's the up and down of the movie. So you start the movie, the funeral, you go out there, you're trying to find somebody to help you. What was Riri there for? Riri was there to, what was she there for? She was there to do something. They needed her for something. And so they go get her, bring her back. That's when Shuri gets kidnapped. Okay, so that's what it was. They go to pick her up to help out with something. I can't remember. But then Shuri gets kidnapped. So that caused the fallout between these two, right? Because the warrior is like, yo, I'll take care of her. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? And Angela was like, all right, I trust you. You know what I'm saying? And then basically she's like, damn, I fucked up, girl. And she's like, man, you gonna bring all this to me? You know that I just lost my son. I lost my husband. Now you gonna lose my daughter? I can't forgive you. So get off, throw your spear down. Basically. So she throws the spear down. Then there's this, she's desperate. Or Angela Bassett gets desperate. She asks the AI that Shuri created, like where she is or like if she can track her. So they're using those beads that Shuri created to more or less communicate. There's the CIA guy. He's playing like middleman, trying to help Wakanda progress more or less from the fallout of T'Challa. Like he's tied in, right? And he's working with the side of people. And they're more or less trying to get the vibranium. Like the movie starts out with Angela more or less defending Wakanda's vibranium, right? So then you got the France and the US trying to come in and be like, yo, we need that adamantium because we want to do some stuff with it too. And basically Wakanda's stance on that was, nah, because y'all gonna mess the world up if we let y'all get on this adamantium. Which is where Namor comes in, because that's where the extra adamantium is, right? So these two basically, and that's how it is in the comic, these two run adamantium, which by the end of the movie, that all formulates, I've said a lot already, that all formulates to become kind of like a consensus between how these two need to further progress their countries and their cultures, right? Okay. This all sounds fine and dandy. I'm sure I made it sound interesting than it really is. More interesting than it actually is. But my problem. This is the big problem. How the movie ends. Big spoilers right here. The movie ends with the wife. You know what I'm saying? She put now I already told you she was fine, but she does a great job in this movie, just kind of playing true to T'Challa, right? Because she is supposed to kind of be a, not necessarily a mirror, but a shade of what he was, right? So she's kicking it in France, I want to say. Is it France? Something like that. France, Italy, one of them two. And she actually has a baby T'Challa already. Now, this is not introduced to you till the end of the film, right? And basically, my thought process, you see Shuri, she's dealing with so much heartbreak by the end of the film. She just has to get away. So she goes and visits with girl, right? And she's burning some memorabilia. Is that what it was? I think she was burning some memorabilia of Chadwick or something like that, or her mother or something like that. And she's just crying, right? First time she cries in the movie, because she's trying to cry the whole film, like get emotional and stuff, because that's how you would be with your brother. But it's just kind of like, you can tell from the cuts and like kind of what they're doing with her, like they just couldn't get those tears like they wanted them, but they're trying. But at the end of the movie, you actually do see a tear. And the symbolism to me was mourning, right? You got this tear on this girl's face. There's the mourning right there, right? She's really feeling the impact of these deaths, right? And when you get, when old girl comes up at the end of the movie, she's got baby T'Challa with her. She's like, this is his son. And he's like, I'm King T'Challa. I'm the baby of T'Challa, or whatever he says. T'Challa's present, right? I felt you could have started the movie right there. We didn't have to do anything we didn't have to do anything with Namor. We could have started the movie right there. It would have told us that she was sad, there's been death, but there's a new king and there's hope on the horizon, right? Then you could have brought in Namor like the king's too young or something like that. I would have liked that flip more, like the king's too young to fight, so we got to do something else in the meantime, right? I would have been more down with that than making me watch Chadwick's funeral, mourning, then making me watch Angela's funeral, more mourning, then watching Riri come in here, not do anything, then watch Shuri have to become the Black Panther, fight the most deadliest battle of her life against Namor, who is no joke. This dude is super strong, can fly, he can be in both land and water for an immense amount of time, right? Obviously, he's more favorable to water, which is kind of like the weakness after all of it. But that being said, you could have did all that. You could have wrapped all that up a little bit better by just starting the movie symbolizing the mourning in her tears. Like, that was me. Like, let's take it. Let's not waste our time knowing something we've known for. By the time the movie came out, how long had Chadwick been dead? At least a year and a half, 2 years, right? Like, maybe longer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we could have got all that done with the tears over the fire and the female and the wife coming up, being like, yo, this is the new King T'Challa, and then time skip. Would have been perfect. Would have been perfect. We could have got a great Black Panther movie. I mean, yeah, there would have been some things we would have had to do, I guess, across the other movies with a time skip, but shit, man. Like, I'm tired of mourning. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the fresh. You know what I'm saying? And I felt this movie was stuck. And they were climbing out of quicksand. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Angela's death. Unnecessary. Like, if you're gonna get rid of her for future movies, like, do it off screen. I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? But I'm going kind of long, man. I didn't want to go this long, but as I kept talking, there was just more stuff popping up in on me, man. And there's still some. I mean, 2 hours and 40 minutes, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit to go over. The technology is great. As far as what the Wakandans use, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing that. I felt the chemistry was good, like amongst the actors. I felt like they did what they could. So I don't want to go too hard on this movie, but it's not something I'm going to be eager to watch again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just too much heartbreak, too much more. Like, when I come to a Marvel movie, I want to have some fun. You know what I'm saying? And this lacked in the fun department. You know what I mean? And that's about the most honest thing I can say about it. I appreciate y'all coming through and checking this review. My final analysis on this, man, I was giving it 6.5 walking out of the theater. I specifically remember that. But in retrospect, like, and again, if I can't come back and watch it, I gotta lower the score on that. So I gotta do 5.5, man. This was middle of the road, maybe just a peak higher in the middle of the road. 5.5 on a scale of 1 to 10, and that's 5.5, not 55. Hell no. On a scale of 1 to 10, Wakanda Forever, not the worst movie I've ever seen. Definitely not the best movie I've ever seen. Again, Namor, great job. Shuri did a decent job. Angela Bassett carried the movie up until her death. And M'Baku, somebody I would really like to see get a more prominent role in these movies. And the weaponry that the Atlanteans, or whatever they're called, used, man, that shit was cool. And like how they had like the little masks and stuff. There was a lot of cool things that happened. You know what I'm saying? There were some cool aspects of the movie. But overall, too much mourning. Not enough fun, not a clear, concise message, some darkness in the dialogue I wasn't feeling. But depending on how they carry it from here, it with the new king, I'm really anxious to see where they take it with the new king, because again, how it ended, her crying and being introduced to the new king, we could have just started there. But I'm rambling now, man. Let me get up out of here. This is D's World, bro. I'm going to be doing some more movie reviews, or at least the ones I feel worth doing, and obviously ones that I've seen, because we gotta fix the media, y'all. Media is hard to come by right now, and this movie, I ain't gonna say it's a good step forward, but it's not. I don't think it's too many steps back. So without further ado, man, this is D's World again. For the review, 5.5 out of 10. You know, let's hope it picks up for Marvel, y'all, because Phase 4, I did not enjoy. I just gotta be blunt on that one. I did not really enjoy it. I cannot invest, and you know, we'll see what they do. But until the next time, man, yo, this is D Drawn Up coming at you, man. Wakanda Forever. Go check it out. Get your own opinion. This is just mine, and you know what it is, man. Keep God close. And this is your host, Dro.
Regenerated, my own hip hop, nothing to play with. The vision to God, powerful paces. All alone won't stop, perfect my goal. All my Lord. Regenerated, my own hip hop,